Hey guys, Country Fried Goth here. I have been in a very sassy mood lately. I've just been like angry, like not at like any one person or any one thing, but just like in general. Like I have been in a perpetual state of pissed offness for the past like week and I have no idea why. So I've decided that this video, I've already done like the get to know me / things I like kind of thing. This is gonna be things I hate. And it was gonna be like 50 things I hate, but I've decided I'm just gonna start talking and see where we go, which could be potentially dangerous, but oh well. Okay, so a thing that I hate happened today. So I was at the post office and I was mailing off something from my eBay store. And this little old lady comes in and there's 4 people standing in line, including this little old lady. There's one girl manning the counter, and I mean, you can just tell that she's frazzled, like she's been nonstop, blah, 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 whatever. And so this little old lady comes up, she puts a dollar store bag on the counter and says, I want to have these mailed, and then just kind of like tries to walk off. And the lady's like, now wait a minute, like you have to package these and you have to put the address on them and all this other stuff. And then the little old lady, she's like, well, they do that for me. And then the girl behind the counter was like, no, like we can tape the boxes for you and everything, but you have to fill out the address thing and you have to like get it ready, and then we'll like weigh it and tape it and all that kind of stuff. And the little old lady was not taking no for an answer. Like she got 8 shades of pissed off. She was trying to mail something that wouldn't fit in one of the like flat rate shipping boxes that she got. So the girl behind the counter was like, just go over there and get a bubble mailer and everything else, and it should fit and it'll be fine. And then she was getting frustrated because she didn't know what a bubble mailer was. And she's like, normally they help me whenever I come in here. And I'm like, she's helping you as best she can. Like pretty sure that like as long as the post office is open, like pretty sure that there always has to be like one person manning the counter. So even though there were other people in the back, like she couldn't really leave where she was at and leave the counter like unmanned. So she like, I handed the lady like a bubble mailer, and then she still didn't know what was going on. So then the girl behind the counter like kept trying to tell her like, you have to fill out everything else, but we can weigh it and tape it and send you on your way. And she was like so mad. She's like, normally they do everything for me. I don't understand why you're not doing it. And then she's like, because we can't. Like it's against our rules and policies and we can't do it. Like you have to fill out the address thing and all that other stuff. And she was like, the old lady was getting pissed. And then there was another lady that came in. I don't know if she also works at the post office or if she just knew the girl that was behind the counter. So she was trying to help this old lady like get her mail situation like taken care of. And she was just like she wasn't like literally cussing out the girl behind the counter. But whenever the girl that was trying to help her was like, you know, don't get mad at her. She's just doing what she was told. You know, every job has rules. The old lady, she goes, well, she's not doing what she's told because everybody else helps me when I come in here. They do it all for me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, those are the kind of old people I hate. And it pisses me off. I was doing some research in my downtime and I found this article today. It was called Meet the Black Girls of Goth. And it was a really, really good article. I don't remember who wrote it or even what website it was on. It was talking about how like pretty much whenever people think of goth girls, they think of like the pictures you see on Tumblr where it's like super, super pale, super, super dark hair, super, super skinny, like everything else. The African American like women, they don't have like a spokesperson. Well, I should say like a well-known spokesperson for like their alternative stuff, you know. The girl that the person interviewed was talking about how well, there were several girls, but the main one was talking about how like her parents were artists and she identified as goth from a young age, and like people thought that she was weird and everything else. And then they interviewed this girl, I think she was like a bassist in a band or something like that, and she grew up in Seattle, which is like the grunge capital of the world. She was talking about how like a lot of her classmates were surprised whenever like they expected her to listen to like Tupac and Wu-Tang Clan and like all that other stuff, and then she's like, I like Metallica and I like Alice in Chains. And they were like super taken aback by it because they're like, what? You're black, you're not supposed to listen to rock music. Like, how could you? And she was just like, what the hell? Like, music's music. And so she said that like after that she started like dressing pretty much strictly in black and like started playing alternative music and everything else. And then not even just like the African Americans, but I feel like there's not a lot of diverse, I mean like there's diversity in the goth subculture, don't get me wrong, but I mean like I feel like there's not a lot of like plus size, like you don't see a lot of other people like who are goth, like floating around being internet famous, that are like, besides people who are Snow White with obsidian black hair and who are like super skinny. I mean like it's a stupid stereotype, because I mean like goth is about like a look, yes, but it's also about music and literature and everything else. And I know that I'm only a baby bat, but I mean Skullgirdle, you need to check out her channel. She is a lovely elder goth. I actually sent her a message on her Facebook page, and I was talking about how like whenever it comes to asking questions about the goth subculture, like I feel like a fucking idiot. Like I feel like they're gonna be like, oh, you don't know what that is? Wow, like you're so dumb, like you're a poser and everything else. I feel like just from like watching like all different varieties and like taking in different kinds of varieties of gothic social media, I feel like elitism has kind of become like a dirty word. I know on it was either on Vampire Freaks or the Goth Amino, whatever the hell, one of them that I don't get on anymore hardly. Like posting in the like Baby Bat sub forum, like it seemed like people don't know the difference between like a genuine like elder goth like trying to help you so you don't sound like an idiot, and a person who is like genuinely an elitist prick. There's a difference. Like not everybody who corrects you on something is an elitist, which there's been several videos that I've watched that have covered this exact same thing. But it's like the more that I'm in the subculture and the more that I like look at social media and stuff surrounding it, like the more that I myself am seeing it. And I haven't been part of the subculture, well, an active part of the subculture for very long. Like I see it a lot where it's like you know, a person will say like, oh, I just checked out the new insert band here album and it was super good. They're my favorite goth rock band. And then an elder goth will tell you, oh well, it's cool that you like them, but they're not a goth rock band, you know, they're this genre. But an elitist would be like, oh, you listen to that album? Well, then you're not really a goth. Like, that's the difference. Like, it's okay to, like, consider yourself goth and like other things that aren't goth. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be, like, a dark, broody vampire 24/7, 365. It's not like if you stray away from, like, the by the book goth stereotype, like you're suddenly not goth anymore. Like that's not it at all. Like it's more than just a look. Like I said earlier, it's like different aspects put together. Like there's music, there's literature, it's art, it's finding beauty in dark things. And a lot of the ways that like the dress is with like all black and all that kind of stuff, it's like reflecting that. And I don't really know how to explain it. I just feel like a lot of the people get like butthurt super easily that are like new in the subculture. That's just how I feel, which kind of makes me glad that I'm not like super internet famous, because I'm sure that I would get torn to shreds in the comments on this video. But that's okay. I hate people who stare. This got me today. So on my break in between classes, I had to go to Walmart to get a few things, and then I also got some lunch from the deli there. And like the entire time, which like to me, like this doesn't look ridiculous. Like yes, I'm wearing dark theme makeup, which if you follow me on Twitter, then you've already read this rant, so like fast forward, whatever. But I'm wearing like dark theme makeup, and like my hair, like yes, it's like teased and windblown looking and everything else. Like people were staring at me like I was a freak. I don't know like how many old ladies especially I caught staring at me. It's like, if you're gonna stare at me, like you have something you want to say, like I would rather somebody walk past me and yell freak and be on their way than just somebody to stare at me for like 10 or 15 seconds straight. Like I don't know why, but that's just how I feel. Like I don't like being like the center of attention and everything else. And living where I do, whenever there's not a whole lot of diversity, I stick out like a sore thumb. My girlfriend and I actually got into this discussion. If you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook or really any social media, because it's all linked, I posted a picture of this hairstyle today. I was telling Danielle that whenever I went to Walmart, I'm like, I have never been stared at like so much in my entire life. And she's like, well, did you have your hair done the way you did in your picture? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, well, that's why it looks silly and I don't like it. And we got into this, like, it wasn't really a fight, but I mean, like I've said before, she hates the fact that I'm goth. If you're used to, like, I'm gonna use her best friend and her boyfriend as an example. So Danielle, the best friend, is dating a like bona fide through and through redneck. He is the nicest guy you will meet in your entire life. That boy is a redneck. Like, if you're used to like just like that kind of environment, and then like you're out and about like doing your grocery shopping or running into Walmart real quick to grab something, and then all of a sudden like you run into me, like your first instinct is gonna be like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? And I mean, like, I get it, I do understand, but it's just, I feel like people are afraid to like talk to me. You know, if you want to just be like, no offense, but your hair looks stupid, okay, fine. But like, if you want to ask like a genuine question, like, fine. Like, we're not scary. We're not gonna suck your blood. We're not gonna kidnap you and sacrifice you to the Dark Lord. I also hate people who are intolerant. Civil discussions are almost impossible to have. We ran into this in one of my other classes. I don't even remember what we were talking about. It led to the subject of religion, and I mean, my town is like 95% Catholic. And like, you know, a lot of people are of the broad umbrella of Christian. I haven't met, I mean, like, I've met other pagan people, but as far as like my college experience, this time around I've only met one other person who has like even dabbled in like non-traditional like ways of worshiping and belief systems and everything else. I've noticed in my well, really all of my law classes, whenever we would have to do case briefs, like we had to look up laws and statutes and everything else. And a lot of the times, like with the conservative laws or like the conservative ways that people think, whenever you see like gay couple in Missouri loses lawsuit against Christian bakery for refusal to make wedding cake. I don't know, I just made that up. But like whenever you see headlines like that, like taking the law classes that I am, like you can research and see every state's code. So you can see like which laws and which statutes and everything, like the people who make the laws and the people who are like so against changing them, like you can see where they're coming from and what kind of ground they're standing on. So I can't think of anything else that I hate off the top of my head. I don't know if it's because like I'm tired and I'm running out of steam or what, but I can't think of like anything else that I hate that like I haven't already talked about or like is a broad umbrella for another thing I hate. On that note, I'm done ranting. This has been a very ranty video, but I've just been so pissed. Like I had to do something like this just to like get some of my frustration out. So yeah, don't forget to share, like, comment, subscribe, follow, do things. Like all of my stuff is in the description. So just remember that it's free to be nice and don't be a dick. Bye guys.